steel is 8 times heavier than water. So, why does a massive ship still float? Everything is pulled down by gravity. That's why a small pebble sinks instantly. But water doesn't just accept that. Water pushes back. This is the buoyant force. This is the secret to why ships float so effortlessly. The principle is simple. The buoyant force equals the weight of the water that object displaces. This wood block is light. It only needs to displace a very small amount of water to float. But this steel ball? It's TOU heavy. The water it displaces is not enough to lift it. But that still doesn't explain why a ship made of STEL floats.
The key here is not just weight, but density and shape.
Density is mass divided by volume. If an object is denser than water, it sinks.
When we hollow out the steel and create the ship's shape, we have increased its volume. Same mass of steel, but now a very large volume. Inside is mostly air. The average density of the entire ship is now less dense than water.
The enormous volume of water the ship displaces creates a buoyant force greater than its weight. Therefore, it floats.
You can try this yourself. Take aluminum foil, crumple it up into a tight ball. It sinks. But with the same mass, shape it into a boat. The volume increases, average density drops, and it floats. The heavier a ship is, the deeper it sinks, displacing more water. This depth is called the draft. Even submarines use this principle. They control their buoyancy by pumping water into ballast tanks. Pump water IN, mass increases, average density water, sub sinks. Pump water out, sub rises. To sum up, ships float because buoyant force gravity. Large volume creates that force, and average density is less than water. Oh, one fascinating detail. Ships float easier in the ocean than in rivers because salt water is denser. Science is amazing! Now you know the secret of those floating ships. Look at these giants. They carry thousands of tons of cargo thanks to water pressure on the hull. This pressure gets greater the deeper it sinks, and it creates the lift. But if the steel hull is breached, air escapes, water rushes in, the density skyrockets, and it will sink. Buoyancy also relates to stability. The center of gravity must be lower than the center of buoyancy. That's why the bottom of a ship is always heavy. The huge U-shape allows the ship to displace maximum water, keeping the average density very low.
Even small wooden sailboats use the same principle, but their lighter materials make them naturally more buoyant.
It's all about volume. V displaced. All right, quiz time. What will instantly make a ship SINK? Water floods in. It replaces the air, making the average density jump above that of water. Sink. Average density must be less than water. Remember that. Ships are giant balloons, just underwater. Never say, I float because I am light. You float because the water's buoyant force is stronger than your gravity. If you enjoyed learning about everyday science mysteries, like this one, then subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you don't miss the next science explanation. If you learned something new today, then please leave a like. And don't forget to share this video with all your science-loving friends. See you in the next fun experiment. Goodbye!